What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny G, and welcome back to the channel. Today is going to be part 2 of our Arknights Babel event playthrough. And you'll have to forgive me, just as a little bit of a preface here. I'm a bit under the weather, so my voice may not be as good today, but my throat's a little bit raw, and I've been drinking a lot, so I have lots to drink here. I'm on my full bottle of cran grape juice. Anytime I get sick, for whatever reason, that's my go-to, and it tends to work. And I think it's just the fact that I push a lot of fluids. But I may cough or sneeze at times, and if I do, I apologize. It does hurt. I pulled a muscle or something in my side in the process, so it does hurt in order to sneeze or cough properly. So I may have to pause at a couple of times. You may see some awkward cuts or anything like that in this video, but I just wanted to let you guys know ahead of time. But I'll try to do my best because I only have a couple days left for the event to get this recorded and out to you guys. I've had once again, so many things going on and so many things keeping me busy that I haven't been able to do this in a timely manner with as long of a time as we've had for this. But I'm still going to get it done, and we'll try to knock off a couple more of the stages here tonight. Let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, let's go ahead and pick up where we left off, and that is the BB-ST-2. So we'll get the story next. We've already been through a tutorial and stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and the initial story. So let's go through story 2. Oh, we're a priestess and doctor now. I prepared a gift for you. What do you hear? This is... Do you remember? This is the polarization formed when AMA-10 was born. You said you found a rhythm within its waveform. Of course, I added a little personal touch. I adjusted the direction of the planetary track's array to capture different echoes. The harmony is derived from the lingering neutrinos of extinguishing stars. As for the orchestrator, I used the gravitational folds left behind when the ship sailed through the Stargate. Stargate? What? No. There ain't no connection to Stargate. If there was, that would be so freaking cool. I like that series. Between the OG movie and Stargate SG-1 and Atlantis, I didn't watch the other one. I can't remember what the name is off the top of my head, but I used to love that series. I used to love watching that with my dad. A little bit of a fun pastime back then. Anyways. Oh, I knew you'd like it, Doctor. The universe is singing. Even at this moment, it's still as touching as ever. But this violates the norms we set ourselves, Priestess. These facilities should have kept operating on the preset path. The stars are losing their color. This world no longer has norms, doesn't it? This place will fall silent soon, almost like we've never been here. Come, walk with me before the silence comes. I hope we'll get to see this world's future with our own eyes together, Doctor. We will. I will wait for you in that world. "4 years ago, summer 1090. Rhodes Island of Babel, Kasdo. Sure. Phew, finally done retrofitting the electrical wiring. Now we're going to be able to withstand any impact, I think. How dare Calcit make me work 48 hours nonstop? Once all this is over, I'm going to tell Her Highness on her. Confirmed within the landship's communications range. Signal's clear. The mini bases you hit around are great enclosure. Of course. Not even Her Highness has seen anything this handy. Is their so-called research finished? The energy surge caused by the last couple rounds almost got Rhodes Island to stall. I'm still reinforcing the landship for the next impact. Okay. Excuse me. You know how much I racked my brains to cover up the landship's movements? Like, what if the military commissioned spies caught wind? Relax. I've already eliminated all our targets nearby. Just focus on your preparations. Scout, report. The infiltration mission is complete. I'm sending the intel back to Babel. What's the situation inside the city? Not much has changed over the past few years. Not many catastrophes, very little movement. Our situation's not very optimistic, actually. If the military commission continues to shrink our strategic space, let's trust Her Highness and Dr. Calcit. You're right. They spent so much time preparing for today's experiment just to turn the tide. Great, Scout. Have you gotten your hands on the equipment I was keeping at my place? I've already entrusted it to a messenger to take to Babel. But the secret weapon Calcit and I knocked out together will definitely crack that weird control system on the ship. I'll rendezvous with the messenger and confirm the package's risk level before bringing it to the land ship. We have been investigating the agent behind our missing engineer, too. The threat against the land ship hasn't been fully eliminated yet. Oda! Closure, I brought you even more materials, just as you asked. They're so heavy. Thanks, Oda. Looks like I can make more safety equipment for Her Highness and Calcit. I should install an extra line for backup. There won't be any unexpected surprises this time. Do you need any help, Closure? Oh, you should hurry and evacuate to a safe zone with everyone else. The next wave of impacts is probably going to be in the 30 minutes. Now, everything's all ready. I'm kind of curious. Just what kind of secret experiments are Calcit and Her Highness running? They even need to mod the energy and defense modules, not to mention those weird tests. There's no one with a better understanding of Originium. If you want to solve the suffering caused by Originium, there is no better candidate for the job. The news you bring is always so surprising, even for the King of Sarkaz. Are those devices really still working? Are you confident about the resurrection? The vast majority of life forms on Terra can't resist corrosion that spans such a long stretch of time. The Terra we see today is no doubt a miracle, and so are you, Teresa. But in the past, the whole solar system revolving around the sun was insignificant in their eyes. You seem a little tense, and also a little anxious and nervous. Is there anything else that worries you? Yes, but I can't tell you. It's okay. Sorry, I shouldn't have distracted you. Focus. I can feel it. Calcit. You love this name, don't you? I've forgotten almost everything else about those days. But I still remember how, in that distant past, somebody gave me this name. Calcit. That was the last time we ever met. Calcit, I do not have much time left. Search for traces of life. Search for hope in a future. Calcit, go find your own answer. Find yourself. Why hesitate? I know what you mean. It's just... I've had a premonition, worry, or perhaps a conjecture. At the starting point of this land, and at a certain point in time when life had only started budding, something that can never be reversed happened here. And I don't know what it is. If it's something that even Dr. Calcit can't put her full faith in, then I'm not one bit worried. Besides, considering how cautious you are, the safety measures that you prepared well ahead of time have never allowed me to worry. I'm sorry to say this, Teresa. This alone, no matter how many contingency measures I prepare, I still can't confidently say anything is conclusive. Teresa, I can't guarantee that I will always make the most rational decisions. In this time, I want to believe. Then do what you want to. I'll be here with you. Calcit's hand touches the door that has stood silently still for a cryptically long stretch of time. A new wave of tremors reaches Rhodes Island. The door loosens. Originium will become the beacon, condensed by our civilization. If one day other life forms in the universe lose their homeland and seek a way to resolve their plight, they will witness that we once shined, we once resisted, and this is where we rest. We once delivered a gift to those who came after us before our annihilation. Hope. This place. Is it time already? Warning. Unknown power activated. Warning. PRTS access detected. Warning. PRTS access reset complete. Administrator permissions confirmed. All communication module channels open. Communications receiver module overclocking procedure completed. Search Preserver. No signal. Search Cyrilla Arbor. No signal. Search Celestial Fulcrum. No signal. Search. No signal. Search complete. No signal detected on any channel. Would you like to retry? No answer. Just me. How long has it been? Searching progress logs. Latest update. 4,755,954 days ago. Wow! Normal vital signs detected. Loading restoration module. Restoring. Did I wake up too early? Or too late? What stage has Originium reached? Searching Originium inspection history data. No response. Originium inspection module is disconnected. Terra. Why save all these redundant information? This isn't recorded in the database. A new language. A new civilization is born. It's just me. What about her? Priestess, I can answer your question. I saved those data in PRTS in advance. You... A hint of unfamiliarity, perplexity, and vigilance flashed in the eyes of the person stuck in the past. Calcit senses it from the glare of the person in the sarcophagus. Likewise, Teresa senses Calcit's nervousness. Wait. You've changed a fair bit. The person inside the sarcophagus feels like they've just woken up from a short dream. The life form that bid them farewell prior to sleep is still here by their side. But you've never left. No. From the moment I left this place until now, when I am standing here before you again, I have wondered for thousands of years. However, I have never forgotten the question you left me. Calcit waits uneasily. She needs to make sure. She needs to make sure that her hope has not gone through some kind of horrible change. That was not a question. That was what I looked forward to. Then, have you found the meaning of your life yet? Calcit. Discovering the meaning in the continuation of life. It's a path that I will have to keep walking. You still remember? I still remember. To me, it was like yesterday when we said goodbye to each other. But it also seemed like an eternity. But to you, there was never a moment when I forgot all you have done for me. Aside from my life, you granted me one other thing that I found most precious. Freedom, Doctor. Please, just Doctor will do, Calcit. Let me get out first. You're still very weak. I can help. No need. Calcit, I still have many questions. What has become of Originium? I couldn't find any records. It still grows on the continent outside. So I woke up too early. You've suffered, Calcit. I can tell from your eyes. You woke me up because you need my help. Yes, we need your help. I see. That devil? I can see from your friend behind you that not only has Originium found an unexpected way to exist, she also possesses, yes, Civilite Eterna. The course of this civilization is very complicated. What's her name? Does their civilization have anything like that used to refer to individuals? Teresa. Teresa. The awakened one walks up to Teresa and holds out two arms, showing the palms of his hands. Ah, I see. Teresa extends her hands to lightly hold the hands of the one from the past. The doctor feels warmth. Yes. Teresa. This is a moment two civilizations make contact with one another, yet Teresa can see sadness in the eyes of this doctor from eras long ago, and she feels no warmth from the hand she is holding. Originium and you together. You speak our language. I learned from records. Not hard. Unbelievable. I was thinking about learning your language. Calcit said, my world is lost. Languages of the past should stay in the past. I am curious about your kind. You found and even entered Civilate Eterna. I want to ask you about everything, about your civilization. That's the only way I can find traces of my world, the world of the past. I understand. Doctor, is that how you say it? Please forgive me. Keep holding my hands. I will show you. The doctor cannot help but be attracted to the eyes of this creature that looks like a devil. Through her eyes, one who lost a world sees life. Civilization is born from the instinct of living beings. It's survival of the fittest. Natural selection. This is how the cycle of life is formed. A burden beast accidentally fell beneath the ice, pushes a small cub up from the water with its head. Small burden beast staggers onto the ice and walks towards the hunters who are waiting afar with their bait. It's coming this way. Get ready. The hunter grabs the starving burden beast cub before the ice cracks underneath them. Good, at least we managed to save one. Rebellion. Going against our survival instinct is the catalyst of our civilization's evolution. And curiosity. Curiosity is what we burn our lives away for. The staircase that allows our civilization to proceed forward. A pioneer chasing the stars is pushing forward with his fallen ally on his back. You dipshit! Why can't you keep at it for just one more day? The newspapers already said it was the crashed aircraft of the Wrights, not a shooting star. But you just had to get to the bottom of it. They were failures who crashed from the sky. What was there to risk your life for? Those rocks that fell onto the land. What did you want to prove to me? I too once saw within the Black Crown the sun getting engulfed with darkness, shrouding the whole continent. But even in its darkest hour, there were still those who tried to light up the night. It's still black. The sun really is dead. The sun's been dead for too long. We gotta save it. If the sun doesn't live, how are we going to hold our tail thickness contests? But how? We climb the tallest mountain and raise a torch up high to light it back up. What if our arms get tired? Then we'll build a statue of me and my statue will hold the torch up instead. Good idea. We can build my statue next to yours to hold up another torch too. Then if your torch goes out, my torch can light yours. Primitive thought process, but it's funny. With fire comes light, and it is light that guides us towards hope. And my kin see death as a different interpretation of hope. After your body's destruction, to become one with the city within the soul furnace's flames is an honor bestowed only on those who are most respected. They will grow as originium crystals and become one with Casdell. The newborn will grow among the fluttering dust and continue their march towards the hardships in tow amid the chorus of the myriad souls. Progress mixed with ignorance, the cycle continues and repeats over and over. So beautiful, so nostalgic. You're kind. Terra seems to have gotten back on the right track in achieving enlightenment. How is ignorance defined, and how do we prove the progress of enlightenment? The way I see it, all of this is part of our civilization. But the things you showed me, most of them are extremely different compared to your race. Conquerors and the conquered both have been branded with inerasable marks by this land throughout the evolution of civilization. For the sake of survival, I believe that all discrepancies will be unified, and all clans will become one. In the future that I envision, all the many lands will become one. That's a stirring belief. It's admirable. I can feel that you truly love this great land. Be it discrimination, war, or disaster, the object of your love has long surpassed an individual or a clan. But if you surpass the extremes of the civilization you belong to, no one will be able to comprehend your love. On the contrary, they will loathe you. Do you understand what you will have to go through to reach the future you strive for? If there is no choice but to walk that path, I will gladly do so. Teresa, a Terran. No wonder Calcit trusts you. She willingly took the risk to wake me in order to help you. Right. When every era comes to an end, there are always those who try their hardest to change the tide in the final moments. But most of the time, their stories don't end well. Nevertheless, there is no doubt that you have my admiration. After all, on a certain level, you were very similar to some people that I knew. I'll never get to see them again. Perhaps I'll need some more time to get my thoughts in order. But no matter, I think I should listen to what you two have to say first. What do you need me to do? Doctor, you need to rest. I'm fine. Calcit, she's given me lots of surprises, but on top of that, she's given me even more challenges. Sorry, I mean confusion. I still don't have a very good grasp of the Sarkaz language. I saw a lot of unexpected things in her. Surely you did too. I made enemies with her, came to know her, began to understand her wish, and finally admired her responsibility. That black crown shared with Teresa the long history and experience it bears, and she too slowly gained foresight that no other can attain. I felt perhaps this would be our best chance, with her, with Babel, and with Terra. With Terra. You too are part of this great land now, Calcit. I hope you will take this journey with us too. Right. I envy you, and I trust you, Calcit. But I am just a researcher. Perhaps the help I can offer won't be as significant as you hoped. Or a pithy, catastrophe. Disasters that we have no methods to resist have been bringing many hardships to these lands. Yet Terra's technology is almost entirely built atop the foundation that is Originium. Fighting over energy, the discrimination against the infected, and the estrangement between war and races are all further tearing these lands apart. We tried, but our efforts yielded very little. That's because we know practically nothing about Originium. We know nothing about this great land. What happened to the sky and the ocean? Where did the ancient ruins come from? How exactly were we born? We hope you'll be able to find answers for us. Surely Calcit must have already shared some of those with you. As for Originium, I'm sorry to say that the person I am now can't give you a good answer. At the very least, not an answer to everything. When I woke up, I tried to access the logs tracking Originium's progress, but strangely, there was nothing. And this glimpse of Terra that you showed me has made me even more confused. The development of Originium has taken a completely different turn from what I expected. I need some time. I need to explore and see this great land for myself to understand how exactly Originium has influenced culture, life, and environment. This could take years, perhaps longer, and maybe after an enormous amount of energy is expended, you will receive only a most disappointing answer. I once made a promise to somebody. Thinking about it now, perhaps all I ever left myself or her was regret. That's why I won't make a promise lightly, Calcit. Forgive me. In that case, we will wait. No matter what your answer will be, Babel will last until the day you return, Doctor. Thank you. Well, sorry, but I'm a little hungry. PRTS showed me that the landship has a temporary cafeteria. That it does, but it might be a little messy there. How about I take you? Thank you, Teresa, but no. This place has a special meaning to me, too. Let me walk there, slowly, by myself. Be careful, Doctor. The awakening has given the Doctor a lot of pressure, but it would seem this one is quick to adapt. and much quicker than I expected. The doctor wants to learn all there is about Terra. A quick learner, too, it seems. If the children were like the doctor, perhaps they would have a chance to master even more languages and travel to so many places across Terra. Teresa, you should go back and look for the others. There should be plenty of Babel affairs that need the chairman herself to. Plenty of Babel affairs that need the chairman herself to. Teresa? Calcit, there's something bothering me. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I want to tell you. The doctor seems to be very surprised by the look of Terra as it is today. You once told me that nobody has a better understanding of Originium than the doctor. The same doctor who said the development of Originium took a completely different turn from the expected. Then what should Originium have been like? What should these lands have been like? What should the Sarkaz have been like? Is the doctor ready to depart? Right. The doctor applied for a transport, some defensive weapons, and nothing else. The doctor stated an intent to avoid combat zones. All right. Just abide by the doctor's wishes. Your Highness, I would like to follow this doctor of ours. Considering the background involved, I am worried. Ascalon, have you ever left Castel? Left? If we count how I once chased a quarry and left the area when I was small, then I most certainly have. That doesn't count. Go, follow and protect the doctor, but do not interfere. I will keep a close eye. No, Ascalon, calm down. I don't want you to keep an eye on anyone. I want you to go out there and see how the people in other lands live. This is a great opportunity. How they live. Outside our homeland. Neither war nor suffering is part of people's daily lives. Food, fashion, arts, culture. We could have so much. Many of us know this fact, but even more of us choose to ignore this fact. Because most of the time, we don't have the freedom to choose. Don't give me that look, Ascalon. Listen to me. At first, you followed me because you opposed Teresa's measures. But what about after this division is over? What will you do then? What will be the next stop for the countless Sarkaz who share the same idea as you? That's why you need to take a break from the war and see the sights beyond our homeland. See the life that we should have lived. If that is your wish. It is. Have a safe trip. It's interesting. So we get a little bit of a glimpse there. We know AMA-10 is Calcit. Basically, more or less, we have the reveal that she was created or whatever and gifted to Doctor and is more or less she is Doctor's daughter. In a very interesting sense. She is the daughter of Doctor and Priestess. Not exactly when you think of it, but that's the best way you could refer to her. She's not just some like robo-assistant or something like that. No, she's more or less was a gift, a daughter, a pet, but more to be a daughter, you know, in a way. It's very interesting how that was told and played out. And there's more to it, I think, but it's just really, really cool. Right, BB-4. Let's go ahead and start. I get a drink here quick. My voice is getting bad. Dear Calcit. Excuse me. Glad to receive your letter. Hope you and everyone in Babel are well. A couple of months ago, I rescued a girl by the name of Amiya from a convoy that had met with misfortune. The accident killed her parents and afflicted her with oropathy. The locals deal with orphaned oropathy patients by putting them in a car and driving them into the wastes. I had no choice but to take her with me. We had become fellow travelers by chance. You can't imagine my panic and helplessness as I took care of her. Fortunately, a woman who goes by the name of Savage has joined our little band, which has helped take some of the burden off of me. Savage. Or Charlotte, I believe her real name is. A shadow leaps out of the dunes in the moonlight. Approaches cautiously. Threatening roar. Hey, go away. Don't come any closer. Sand beast. Moves head in confusion. You seem to have made them even more excited, Amiya. Oh, she's so adorable. Don't worry, Doctor. I can deal with this. Mom and Dad taught me how to chase the sand beasts away. All you need to do is imitate the sound of their natural enemies. Chirp, chirp. Pauses in confusion. Wait, that wasn't right. Was it chip, chip? Tilts head in confusion. It's still not right. What was it again? Ow! Cuckoo. Tick-tock? Swings tail in confusion. That's not right either. It's okay, Amiya. I'll take care of this. The doctor makes a ring with thumb and index finger and whistles, producing a strange sound. Stands up, startled. Looks around uneasily. Quickly digs a hole. Slowly follows. Wow, Doctor! That was just like the real thing. Let me try. Amiya presses her tiny hand against her lips, but used too much force and only gets a sound out after going all red and puffy in the face. The pair of whistles echo across the wastes, sending the sand beast scurrying underground. A child's laughter replaces the whistles. Then the laughter fades away to silence and a soft little sigh. Come here, Amiya. Why the sullen look? The sand beast ran off. I could never remember, even after Mom and Dad taught me so many times, and I couldn't protect you, even though I said I would. Your hand's still wounded. It hasn't fully healed. Don't worry. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt. Anyway, don't you remember? It was you who taught me how to make that sound. I did? You see? Like I told you, your brain slows down and you start to forget things if you don't sleep. I don't want to sleep. I'm scared that I'll dream of those things. But you told me you dream of your parents, too. We have some time before our ride gets here. Have a sleep. Can I come closer? When I wake up, the first thing I want to see is you. Of course. Why don't I tell you a few stories while we wait for Savage? Long time ago, there was a really smart scientist. Her home is in danger, and she made a difficult choice to protect it and the people around her. Zzz. She's snoring. Doctor, I found a vehicle. We'll be able to go to the next... Shh, she's sleeping. Dear Calcit, I was glad to find signs of life wherever I went. This should be an unfamiliar world, yet there are times when it feels incredibly familiar. Excuse me. I recall the legends that had fascinated me in the past, never failing to capture my imagination despite their age. The ancient machines that had rumbled in the mines and dust once again roam this land. Stories can become reality, and the reality we see can become stories. You can come over, Amiya. No need to keep poking your head out from there. Are you drawing, Doctor? Am I interrupting? Of course not. Take a look. Is it good? It's the mining truck we just drove together. I've been drawing lots of our experiences. Have you driven a mining truck before? Even the old miners can't go as fast as you did. I've seen many amazing vehicles before. Like originium slug eggs, but much larger. Once I drove one of them, and went through the bridge between the stars. A bridge between the stars? It's always dark at night, so it must have been really dark. Was it dangerous? No. Guides stand by the bridge, borrowing glowing clouds from old stars and making round mirrors out of them. Follow the path the mirrors show, and we can see the spires fading in and out of the clouds, and the crown of flowers worn by the stars on the other side of the bridge. When we descend on the crown, you'll find that it belongs to good children like you. It's a really, really big playground. Playground? I've read about them in stories. There are lots of children there. Do you want to play with other children? No, I just want to play with you, Doctor. You'll make more friends as you grow up. As I grow up? What's the most amazing vehicle you've ever driven? Most amazing? Well, I spent a very long time with it. Very long indeed. Was there anyone else with you? In the beginning, yes. In the end, though, I was alone. But it's all right. I was sleeping. I slept for a very long time. Take me with you next time. That way I can keep you company and you won't have to sleep all day. Why are you laughing, Doctor? That's a big promise to make. Are you sure? You'll have your own journey, your vision, your future. Are you sure you want to be with me? But they all say that. There's no future for people with rocks on them. So, I'll always be with you. We'll have a future, Amiya. How's Amiya doing? Still not great? Still a bit of a fever. Maybe oropathy complications from all the excitement. Hard to find oropathy meds around these parts. She acts like it's nothing during the day, but keeps having nightmares. Poor girl. Every survivor of that accident was infected. No exceptions. How long does it take for oropathy to progress in a child her age? It's different for everyone. Some disintegrate the day after developing acute symptoms. Some suffer for more than a decade of misery. But the end is always the same. Oropathy. Is there anyone in the world who can cure it? The world? Oh, you mean Terra, our great land? Man, you sound like one of those old scholars. I didn't know you had a sense of humor. Wait, you're serious? I'm afraid not. It's impossible. I need it to be possible. People couldn't imagine the nomadic cities a few centuries ago, could they? I'll find a way, before her symptoms deteriorate. It may be hard, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. Say it to a Rimbilly and they'll think you're making fun of them. You'll never fail to surprise me, but I just can't help but believe in you. Is that the charm of being smart? Come on, Charlotte. I meant you. Never mind. What? Oh, I meant, Can't you tell? There's something about you. Something that lets everyone know that you're different from us. Amiya senses it. Children are more sensitive than we know. Is it that obvious? She's strong. She doesn't show her sadness in front of you. She wants you to see her joy. She doesn't want to be a burden to you. She's trying to take care of you. You became the only pillar in her life the day you saved it. But she knows you were never supposed to cross paths. She's afraid that you'll abandon her too. Don't worry, I won't leave her. Now that's the spirit. I knew you would say that. Dear Calcit, I thought I would never be more a passing visitor in this place. One history would never remember. This intentional isolation made me forget reality. I am here, on Terra, this great land. I don't know what made me feel it, but the warmth of life coming from a child's palm stings my heart and makes it burn. This is jerky and fruit, left here on purpose. They know I'm here. Always inscrutable. Dear Calcit, I'm planning to take Amiya back to Babel. Savage has done her best to find medicine for Amiya, but my ability to treat Amiya's oropathy is limited under present conditions. I know that Amiya isn't special by any objective standard. I know that Babel faces a crisis no less complicated, but I've decided to bring her back. I met many people along the way. I've fretted over money at times, benefited from people's generosity at others. I've seen new things, even some that surprised me for the first time in a long while. The convoy that we were traveling with broke down. We found a herder to guide us through the wilderness of Rimbilliton on the backs of burden beasts to the rumbling of drills and engines. Clicks docilely. Good boy, good boy. Are we really not going to Yan, Doctor? We're going somewhere else to cure your sickness. But there's no cure for oropathy. There's no such thing as an impossible puzzle, Amiya. There's a place called Babel where people I trust are working hard to fight this disease. Let's work with them. Will I have to spend a long time there? Some time at least, but don't worry. There'll be a lot of people with you, caring for you, and I'll be there too. Doctor, do we really have to go? Lots of sick kids went away to get treated, but no one came back. Oripathy doesn't hurt at all. I promise I'll be good, Doctor. Right, Savage? Yes, Amiya has always been a good girl. Are you sure you don't want to rethink this, Doctor? Billies deal with Originium every day. We know what Oripathy can do. Stay here in Rimbiliton, and at least we can give her a home. Maybe that's more important than cold walls of a laboratory. A home. You have a point, but I can't just stand by and watch Originium hurt her. I have an obligation. Amiya, I promise you, I'll do my best to cure you no matter what happens. Doctor. Savage does have a point though, and Babel is in a place that's not entirely safe. You can stay with Savage if you don't want to leave Rimbiliton. I'm sorry to force this decision on you at such a young age, but you're a strong girl and we'll respect your choice. The doctor's right, Amiya. No need to knee-jerk an answer. Think carefully about it. I trust you, Doctor. I want to have a future. I want to grow up, read books with you, travel with Savage. It's just that I'm a little scared. Thank you, Amiya. The doctor pats Amiya's head, then picks her up and climbs onto the burden beast. They hardly sat down when the ground begins to shake, stirring up clouds of dust. What's going on? Underneath our feet. Must be a deep digger. It's spooking the burden beast. Watch out. Stay, boy. Whoa. Whoa. Hang in there, Doctor. Doctor. Burden beast rose up on its hind legs, gives a loud cry, then charges forward. The rest of the pack follows. They run towards a shallow shoal, splashing water everywhere. For inhaler to help my sinuses a little bit. These things are brilliant. But anyways, they run towards a shallow shoal, splashing water everywhere. It's all the doctor can do to grab the fur on the back of the burden beast and hang on for dear life. Amiya's eyes are wide open in the chaos. Look at her eyes. They're freaking adorable. And Doctor's panicky reflection. Anyways, with one hand on the burden beast, she stretches the other out towards the doctor. Grab my hand, Doctor. Goes faster. I have to get them to... Whoa! On, speeding up. I'm trying. Hang in there, Doctor. I'm coming. Hurry. Oh. Oh. In the end, I was thrown from the back of the burden beast into the water. My hindquarters and back burned with pain, and I gagged on the water rushing into my nose. But it also made me feel like I was truly living on this land after spending almost half a year traveling across it. I heard the sound of my life surging. Summer 1091. Casdal. No more messenger stations from here on. Villages become sparse and bandits become frequent. I'm afraid we have to part ways here, Savage. Why? The region ahead is in turmoil. You'll be in danger if the mercenaries spot you. And you and Amiya will be in danger too, won't you? I'll be fine. I've come this far. I'll see your journey through to the end. Charlotte. Thank you. The goddess's ears quiver at the mention of her real name. She glances at the doctor. A few months is neither long nor short. True, it comprised only a tiny part of her lifetime, but it was also a span of the few hundred days filled with countless unforgettable experiences. Under the setting sun, before the sand beasts, beneath the eaves, upon this land. She'd enjoyed the journey, even if she never fully understood her quiet companion, and the many strange and curious ideas that companion had. The goddess who goes by the name of Savage sighs. What can she do? She's not as smart as the doctor. Will you come and visit Savage? Of course. Doctor said Babel's new base is being worked on by Billy engineers, right? Maybe we'll see each other soon. Then I'll be waiting for you, Savage. Good girl, Amiya. Now, though, I need to figure out how to take you and the doctor through the wilderness. You and Amiya stay here and rest for a while, Doctor. I'll see if the transport hub ahead has any good vehicles for hire. Doctor. Oh. Do we have time to say goodbye? The longer we stay here, the more dangerous it gets. The goddess girl seems rather determined. It's better for both of you to part ways here. I suppose you're right. We won't wait for Savage? Sometimes, Amiya, we have to do bad things for good reasons. We don't want Savage to be in danger, do we? But she doesn't want to leave you. It's rude to leave without saying goodbye, but that way, Savage won't face danger. I promise we'll get to see her again. Can I leave a note for Savage? She'll be worried if she comes back to find us gone. Good thinking. Go ahead and write one. Okay? Her Highness wants to meet with you alone. Are things not going well? How's Calcit? Now is not the time. We'll leave once the girl's written her note. All right. Can we trouble you with the note? Certainly. I'll leave it where she is sure to see it. Here we go, BB-4, long voyage.
We can take care of ourselves, Professor. You just focus on giving orders.
Okay.
Ready to heal.
Don't make this harder than it needs to be.
Okay. But read there.
Trust in me. There we go.
There'll be sleep. Let's put an end to this show. Front.
I'm prepared for lives.
Okay,
Now.
we'll let her have a little bit of fun there. Yuki's gonna take the middle. Should put Shu behind her to have a healing thing over everybody.
Roar. A word I've not heard in a long, long time.
I think I need a deck and breaker up front.
To act. So the mountains
Or
when
up here.
summer leaves a white dew.
Hi, Fiala.
Seed the plains when
Go
equinox
here.
paints russet hue.
Let's keep him ready.
How soon do you want them gone?
I'm prepared to stand this ground. We needn't care. Professor?
Okay.
Please give your this may be a little hot.
Let's launch that. Okay. Got him.
Still.
Heaven blue!
She's ready.
It is your tyrannies that fuel this flame.
We're gonna save them because there's a guy that comes out of the top here, and if you don't get him quick, he's a pain. That's why I have her up here as a backup.
If you're really, I'll plant you into the soil to grow anew.
Okay.
Stay safe, everyone.
Good on our deployments right now.
Apple pie.
Reed's almost full. Wonderful. There we go.
Very nice.
Let him attack.
But you can.
Ah, man.
Can you do it?
Still mulling things over. Emotion is meaningless here.
Okay. Oh, man. This isn't
Doctor?
good.
I can heal that wound in no time. Don't be afraid. Please give your orders, Professor.
No. He's gonna get through. He's gonna get through! I don't want that! I don't want him getting through. I gotta save Ifiela's attack thing, because that guy was gonna circle around.
It's okay. I'm fine.
Let's redo it. Let's redo it. Because we were gonna beat it technically, but I want this 3-starred. I want this 3-starred. I did the same thing. I lost it once by him leaking through.
Remember,
on my other
our
account.
purpose is not violence
And
itself,
yeah,
rather
it's just
the victory it brings.
yeah.
Don't make this harder than it needs to be.
Your lives are mine to protect.
You just need to save Ifiela's attack for when that guy comes out. And his attack for after that other dude moves.
Ready to move. A valiant struggle, but you won't get away.
Where do you wish to go, dear Firelight?
Shoot here to keep them all healed.
Now we sow the grain. I'll be careful. If you're really incapable, I plant you into the soil to grow anew.
How soon do you want them gone?
Yep, don't use that. Save that, don't use it. Maybe I'll put Amiya here as well.
Where do you wish to begin the firelight?
We'll be sleeping. And what purpose do you think you're sacrificing?
Using him, he's okay. They're working now. Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
You want my
We
opinion?
keep that ready
Professor?
and her attacks ready.
I wasn't. I plant you into
All
the
right,
soil
cool,
to
cool,
grow
cool.
anew.
We're in good shape. We didn't need her down here either.
Stay safe, everyone. Professor, how's that?
This hunt has dragged on for too long.
Her attacks go here.
Where do you wish to defend this ground? You needn't care.
Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. Look how much damage. All that damage we got him this time.
Still mulling things over, Dr. Perfectionist?
I'm right here, Doctor.
Hagen,
Still mulling things
hit
over.
him.
Still
There we
sorting
go.
yourself in the past?
Let's go. Just needed to hold out on the skill. Right, Fiala. Autumn 1091. Rhodes Island of Babel, Casdo. How's progress, Closure? The last thing I need is another core system control failure. Well, since you had to bring it up, I'd have to run into a little problem. With the tricks you taught me, the encryption methods used by many of the PRTS's programs are almost incomprehensible to a normal brain, and my decoder isn't fully compatible yet. We may not be able to shut the system down before the doctor arrives on the ship. Try again. If you're not confident about getting it done, then we'll go to the contingency plan, cutting off power to the entire ship. Leave it to me. Seems like you're still keeping a lot of secrets, though. Excuse me. I've never seen anyone make you so nervous. That's not important. What's important is making sure nothing happens to the ship. Escalante's report says the doctor looks like an ordinary person. Pretty decent one, too. Who picked up a stray little goddess and carried her all across the land. Do we really need to be so on edge? It's not the doctor that I fear. Then what is it? You don't need to know yet. Wipe the doctor's boarding records. This is for the safety of both the doctor and Babel. The others don't need to know that Doctor exists until the doctor and Teresa have reached a conclusion. All right, I'll work at it. But I wonder why you seem to care a lot about this doctor and at the same time that you're so on guard over the whole thing. I've got it. The doctor must have dirt on you. Don't bother, you won't find it. Come on, why are you so serious? What about the girl? Same conclusion, no change. I cross-checked all relevant Rib Bulletin records and had Scout check with the informants inside the military commission. Excuse me. Oh man, that hurts. Amiya's background comes through clean. Her parents were killed when the convoy transporting the laser mining module got attacked. The attack itself was purely coincidental. No one knew why they were transporting Sarkaz-related cargo, and the military commission wasn't involved. She must have gotten infected in the mess. If not for the doctor, she'd be spending the rest of her life suffering in Rimbilliton. I'll handle the girl's examination and treatment once she's on board. You're still concerned about her? Yes, I am. She's too young, and she hasn't had proper treatment since contracting oropathy. Oh, that kind of concerned. I don't want the doctor's kindness to be the reason for delaying her treatment. Plus, Teresa would call her a gentle child who has the right to choose her future. Mia. Let me sleep. Doctor. The doctor's here. Wake up, sleepyhead. You're almost home. In her half-awake state, Amiya feels a fingertip brush her cheek. That tickles. Don't do that. Oh, who are you? I'm Teresa. Teresa, the doctor talked about you. Oh, what did the doctor say? I don't remember. I was having a great carrot cake at the time, though. Teresa should smell nice, but be really warm and sweet. What about now? Is she as you imagined her? Yeah, smells good. Warm and sweet. Doesn't smell like carrots, though. Not fully awake, I see. Will you come home with us, Amiya? Home? Yeah, okay. There isn't much more to this. I can barely talk. Outside Rhodes Island of Babel, Kasdal. The tiny cottage sleeps soundly in Teresa's arms, leaning against her neck. She pats Amiya on the back and turns toward the doctor, who is clearly tired. Thank you, Teresa. I didn't expect you to come pick us up personally. Looks like you're not quite all-knowing, Doctor. You have much to learn when it comes to childcare, at least. Sure enough. You look different from when you left, Doctor. How was the journey? I saw and learned a lot. I saw a lot and learned a lot. There are plenty of interesting things on this great land. I also met Amiya. It was a miracle that I was able to save her. Amiya, she's even cuter than your letters said. Poor girl, but fortunate in some way. Her condition is getting worse. I needed to bring her in for treatment. How has Babel been in the time that I was away? Not quite smooth sailing. We have a lot to deal with, but not everything needs to be handled right away. You must be tired after your journey. Get some rest. Thank you, Teresa. Amiya, we're home. Doctor, did I fall asleep? Oh, Amiya, you're awake. Why don't you come down? Teresa will get tired if she has to keep holding you. Amiya nods and jumps down from Teresa's arms. Will you hold my hand, Amiya? Doctor? It's all right. Teresa is my friend. You can trust her. You'll be spending a lot of time with her from now on. Okay. Is this Babel? Yes. It's so big. Even bigger than those mining plates. So this is where you used to live. I spent a long time here. A very long time. This is your home? Yes, Amiya. This is the doctor's home, right, Doctor? Yes. It's your home now, too. Will you let us help the doctor take care of you? All right. Go wherever the doctor goes. They step onto the elevator and the Babel logo appears before their eyes. The heavy door opens to welcome them in. Sensing Amiya's unease, Teresa puts a hand on her shoulder. What's behind the door? People waiting to welcome you and the doctor. Are you sure about taking me and the girl in, Teresa? Why shouldn't I be? I'm glad to have more people calling Babel their home. Many here don't know you, though, so I'm sure you'll be busy for the next few days. How should I present myself? Good question. You should talk to Tsit first. She's been waiting for you. Tell her your concerns, your questions, and the secrets in your heart. She would be very sad if you didn't. You could have. If you really want the King of Sarkaz to reveal the thoughts that you're loath to tell, I will. But I could feel you're still wavering. Let's go, Amiya. Doctor, we'll go to her. Amiya. You're Amiya, aren't you? Yes. Tsit crouches down and gives the girl a candy. Thank you for protecting the doctor throughout your journey, Amiya. Thank you, Dr. Tsit. Will you fetch Teresa? We need to do some checks on you. Will they hurt? A little, but the doctor's letters called you a brave girl. Will the doctor be with me? Of course. The doctor has some things to do first, though. It's all right, Amiya. Just wait for me here in the ward, and I'll be back very soon. Okay. You'll need to do a full checkup later, too, Doctor. Right. Doctor. Yes? Do you plan on leaving again? No, I think I've traveled enough. If you've made up your mind, I'll respect your decision. If nothing else, you're concerned about Amiya's health, even though she was a complete stranger to you. There's no fundamental difference between these new lives and us. I'm glad. Glad that you chose hope in the end. Welcome back, Doctor. Her smile. It's so precious. Tsit's smile. How's Amiya? Anyways. Blood originium levels are high. Currently available inhibitors are not sufficient to stabilize her condition. We need to develop new drugs. I need time and resources. Apples are yours, Doctor. We're happy to share our research on oropathy with you. What can I help you and Tsit with in exchange? This is not a transaction. It's one of the core missions of Babel to do everything in our power to help everyone suffering from oropathy. Since the day that Tsit woke you up, I was convinced that you would help with all of this, just as you helped Amiya. Thank you. Now, perhaps I have a chance to ask you this question, Doctor. How do you view this land, Terra? I don't think it's my place to judge. There's no such thing as superior or inferior civilizations. It took a long and hard journey for Terra to evolve to where it is today. And to that, the sick joke that originium has played on life. You said that originium did not develop the way you expected. It wasn't supposed to bring such suffering. I sense that you are keeping secrets, but there's nothing false about the sorrow coming from deep within your heart. The sorrow that I can't understand. I want to fix this mistake, but I'm powerless to do so. At the end of the day, civilization largely progresses in similar ways. It all comes to an inevitable endpoint. However bright its light shines at its peak. But Tsit said you didn't give up hope, even in your final days. I had many friends even in those last days who faced difficulties far greater than you can imagine, with courage and hope that is every bit your equal. But they failed and faded away without exception. We haven't known each other that long, Teresa. I want to know, why do you do all this? What is the end that Babel seeks in compromising with the military commission? There's something I want to show you, Doctor. We had to ask you about originium sooner or later. That's why Tsit woke you up. Please come and see the results of my brief time at work. We're almost there. This place is barren, even by the standards of a catastrophe-heavy region, but Closure has spent time and effort to maintain this dangerous little trail. A forked trail in the midst of originium formations. You're not keeping any fewer secrets than I am, Teresa. The King of Sarkaz has to have a few secrets, right? Don't tell anyone what you see here. A long trek through the originium-filled wasteland leads to a small garden. In the heart of a catastrophe, amidst the ruins, on a nameless plain that neither night nor the stars can find, tiny white specks mark this little sanctuary, isolated from the rest of the world and the wild lands around it. Even the winds seem softer here. It is a forgotten greenhouse that harkens back to a time in the distant past when the land was still pure and untainted. Like when man stole fire from up above and lit up a corner of the night sky. Teresa picks up a white flower. This place represents the cutting edge of Babel's and my research into originium. Flowers? No, originium. I'm sure you understand it's not originium arts that made these flowers bloom. The information inherent in originium, the reversal of the assimilated universe. You've already come this far. When did... No race understands originium better than the Sarkaz. Still, what we know is merely the tip of the iceberg compared to the entirety of originium. Even with Calcit helping us understand the nature of originium, the furthest we have gone is transforming a palm-sized piece of active originium into this. Garden. Hope. This little flower is my small contribution. I need your help, Doctor. I want to see the day when flowers cover the cliffs and valleys of Kasdo and all the lands beyond. It's a future worth taking risks for. You've seen how Kasdo has been mired in war for its entire history, Doctor. Right now, at least, I want to use the power of originium to create a home for Kasdo where people can live in peace, safe from war and invasion. In the more distant future, if we're able to fully harness it, we'll be able to change the entire face of Terra. If catastrophes don't bring rain of originium, but soft fluffy clouds, if the infected no longer suffer the pain of rocks growing out of them, I don't suppose there's anyone who would have such an absurd dream. You're different from other Sarkaz, Teresa. Flowers that cover the entire land. What a picture of life that would be. Doctor? Why? Why this flower? Oh, there's no particular reason. I just happened to come across it outside the valley when I was looking for a good place for my experiments. A pure coincidence. Calcit said it had a name, Snow and Summer, but it's adapted to changes over the years. Perhaps we could give it a new name. What do you think, Doctor? A new path is opening up. Path to self-destruction. Can you hear me, Teresa? I'm listening. I was giving the doctor a tour of our urgent news from Kasdo. It concerns Victoria.
Why must our world be enveloped in strife?
I need to take a break for the sake of my voice. But let's go ahead and collect. Which one is it? This one. There it is. Collect BB-4. Next one, we'll get Oda. We'll have him. So, next up is BB-5. But like I said, I need a quick break for my voice. So I'll come back and continue recording. All right, let's go ahead and pick back up with BB-5. I've had some time to rest my voice. Feeling a little bit better. Now, let's go. Let's get started. Hopefully I sound a little better during this. Your Highness Theresis, Regent of Kasdo, Commanding General of the Military Commission. Wandering scholars have brought back tales of a new nomadic city on the rise in the distant desert. The fires of the ancient furnace continue to burn, and the once scattered mercenaries have flocked to one banner, to the city walls that grow taller by the day. Your strength and reputation have caught the attention of the Duke of Cavendish. You have changed the way we view the Sarkaz tribes. Perhaps now is the time to set prejudices aside and engage in sincere sharing and cooperation that would be beneficial to us both. I, the Duke of Cavendish, hereby invite you to visit my domain. Demesne? My domain. I'm thinking that's supposed to be like domain, so I'm kind of going to go with that domain, where we may sit and parley. Our venerable empire has use for you and your brave warriors. Winter 1091. One more time. I have to do this. No point talking about curing oropathy if I can't do something so simple. Still no good. Excuse me, why don't you put that medkit down? Leave this stuff to us. All right. Some time in the gym would do you good once you've recovered. At present, there is no way for you to match the physical prowess of a Terran through training. Your talents are better employed outside of manual labor. I know. It's just that, you know, I have my pride too. You've looked on edge since that day. I'm thinking about Teresa. Traveling alone to a city under enemy control isn't the most logical course of action for a leader. The warriors with her may be outstanding, but they're not enough to protect her in the face of an entire army. The King of Sarkaz enjoys unimaginable status in Sarkaz tradition, and Teresa's own achievements are well recognized. The military commission would not act rashly. The Victoria's invitation to Kazdel cannot be taken as a sign of goodwill. It means that Terra's powers have once again set their sights on Kazdel. Teresa needs to go to Kazdel and make it clear that she will not permit Kazdel to be embroiled in another war. Even if I know how the military commission in Babel came into being, and my understanding the Sarkaz can hardly afford an internal conflict that could drain them of what little resources they have left. And they have enough to deal with as it is. They have a complicated history, and that brings different attitudes towards outsiders. The Sarkaz people have a right to choose the path they believe is correct, Teresa's or Teresa's. Looks like we've got a lot to deal with besides oropathy. There's a big difference between knowing and understanding, I guess. Looks like there's still much I still need to learn about the history of Terra. This time, you'll be the one to guide me, Calcit. Of course. All we can do right now is make sure that oropathy patients at Rhodes Island have access to proper treatment. What's going on? An attack? Now? Word as Her Highness is set out. Listen up. We exalt only Her Highness. Destroy Babel and she will return to the embrace of Kazdel. If we're branded traitors, so be it, but the Regent must not be hindered at this crucial juncture. Kazdel will take back all that we have lost. May the Sarkaz be united as Her Highness wills. Okay. Scar Market, Kazdel. Her Highness is coming. Her Highness? The one who's still on the run? His or her, it's not your place to talk shit. Say, did you take that job? Wouldn't pass up an opportunity like this if that's the last thing I did. Londinium, that den of scum. They say the columns in that feline palace are covered in gold, and the nobles walk on floors paved with glowing stones. Capital of a great empire. A mission from a Grand Duke. There's gonna be so much money. It's been a while, Ascalon. It's been so long since you last visited. Why not sit down and catch up for a bit? You're sending mercenaries to Londinium. Now, I must object to that accusation. People just follow the money, and it leads to what the Regent has provided in Londinium. You're dragging Kazdel into another war. Dragging Kazdel into another war? Have you been fooling around with those dreamers at Babel for so long that you've forgotten what it means to be a Sarkaz? Since when have the Sarkaz been apart from war? The giant's hand lunges forward. Ascalon is surprised to find that she cannot avoid his fist. Grr. Seeing the future is hard. Seeing through what you will do next, less so. Did you think you were the child of destiny, so special that you could bridge the rift between the siblings? Think back to the day that you saw them for the first time. When you skinned that young mangler and followed the trail of blood through the wilderness until you walked into a storm and met the king of the Sarkaz. How did I know? Are you surprised, Ascalon? I saw the prophecy and I led the tribe on the wastes into the storm that day with game. You happened to be the one who lived. No one truly understands prophecy.
No one can interfere with the future. But I wanted to catch the trail of fate. I wanted to make prophecy. Theresis didn't kill you. Instead, he kept you and raised you. Maybe he wanted to tempt fate, but you never changed. In all these years, you're still that poor lost child on the wastes. Have patience, Escalon. You're not a threat to me yet, and I have higher hopes for you than this.
Master said, your blade points at all the enemies of the Sarkaz.
Thesis raised you to be a deathmonger, yet you understand less about him than a warmonger like me. Did you think Thesis would be content to be some puppet for the Dukes? Spare your breath. If you don't know the full extent of his plan. I'm curious. How would you stand before Thesis if he was sitting in the room behind me right now? You're simply repeating the words of others on behalf of the one behind you.
You seem to have put a lot of thought into this war. How many hostiles?
Exact numbers unclear. We've detected hostiles both in front of and behind us. A lot of them.
Whether it was Theresa's intention or not, the other generals of the military commission seem intent to crush Babel while Teresa is absent. That way the Sarkaz won't have a choice. How many combat personnel do we have?
The best soldiers went into negotiations with Her Highness. A good part of the remaining ones have been assigned to the supply convoys. We only have less than 1/3 of our normal force.
At the very least, we need to break through the roadblock ahead.
Calcit, I'll take command.
Doctor?
If, as you said, this attack was launched by only a few members of the military commission, then they're undoubtedly planning to get this done in one go. We can't let them set the place. Find out where their lines are thin. Disrupt their rhythm, and we'll be safe.
Have you fought a war before, Doctor?
Not the flesh and blood kind, but I've been trained. I'm able to reconstruct a battlefield as a computable data model. Take the front line, Calcit. I know you'll be able to protect us.
Of course.
Welcome to the Scar Market, Your Highness.
Things must be busy here lately.
No need going against the will of the many, am I right, Your Highness?
The voices of the few are worth respecting too. Many know nothing of what's happening in the lands beyond. Their lives will be turned upside down. They'll be without a home once again.
I'm just a humble merchant. My business only stretches so far. Mercenaries seek to sell their lives. I seek to make money. That's why I always respect the positions of my big clients.
Then I'll talk to your biggest client, the one in the room behind you.
Your Highness should go no further.
Since when have you started meddling in the affairs of Kazdal, Scar-Eye?
All the more reason I can't let you go further.
Well, please don't make things difficult for Scar-Eye, Your Highness. You understand that there's only one way this can go. If you and the region come face to face here. Confessarius. I beg Your Highness's pardon. Looks like you've made a decision. Is this Theresa's position? It is. He has decided to abandon our city? Not abandon. Take a step forward. To go on a long expedition away from home. That's all. You have made us stagnant. We want to progress.
The Confessarius is right. I still remember when you and General Theresis came here for the first time. Even fate itself stepped aside for the two of you when you stood together. But look at the people here now, when Kazdal is divided. You could still command any Sarkaz to your will as their king. You could kill all of us who stand here right now, but why not ask them if they're willing to follow your dream?
The bustling Scar Market has lost its usual commotion. Scattered mercenaries stow their weapons and stand with heads bowed in reverence. Excuse me. In their eyes is silence, but the King of Sarkaz hears the voices of their hearts clearly. Uncertainty, excitement, desire, anger. Most of you have made up your minds. Then there is no point for me to try to stop you. One of the Sarkaz suddenly kneels. He has not changed his mind. He has not turned away from the temptation of Theresa's plan. He simply feels a sense of guilt toward Teresa, one of the 6 heroes, their king who rebuilt Kazdal. Kneel if you feel you should.
Neither General Theresis nor Lord Scarai will fall to you. Ah, this ancient gesture signifies more than just fealty. I am more familiar with its other meaning. Penitence. I am not even going to try that one. Have you found the meaning of your name? Not yet, Your Highness. Then forgive their sins, as you must forgive yours. Theresis and I will carry all your sins. As you bid. I bow to you, King of Sarkaz. In millennia of Sarkaz history, it has always been an honor for warriors to go to war with their kings. They have tasted struggle and glory, picked themselves up from the bloodied soil, but the kings of Sarkaz always stood in front of them, never abandoning their people. Where the kings point, that is where home is, where cities will emerge from the earth. Now, though, they have abandoned their king. I promised them a home of peace and safety, where Sarkaz will be forever free from war. Before I set foot here, I had a sliver of hope that perhaps someone would follow me. But I saw fire in your eyes. I saw the city that none of you have seen with your eyes burn. The ancient city comes in many shapes and forms in your eyes. A city of desire, a city of hatred, a city of wealth, a city of glory. You all believe you will plunder what you have longed for in that unfamiliar land. That's why I changed my mind. I decided to see Kazdal's bravest warriors off. Kazdal will embark on a path of conquest for the first time in many years. I honor you, even though I never wanted you to take this step. You answered Theresis' call and dove into yet another campaign of hatred. Death awaits you far from home, yet you still choose to leave our home and go to Londinium. The sorrowful King of Sarkaz walks among her people, who bow their heads to avoid her gaze, yet their determination does not waver, even if it means defying the king. We're going. Voices rise and fall as though the warriors are singing an elegy for themselves as they go to death. We exalt your highness, but we cannot follow you anymore. The regent promises that Londinium will be a new start. There lies the Sarkaz future. There lies our future! Take care of yourselves, my warriors, even if you'll never return to Kazdal. The white figure passes through the parted crowd. The king's people are unmoved by her words. They no longer follow the king they once exalted. The other possibility for her people, the home full of flowers that she strived to build, did not come in time for the Sarkaz. General, you knew this day would come. What do you think? Hesitate, and all we've worked for will be for naught. Her Highness did not hesitate, and neither should we. Make your preparations then, Manfred. Do not forget the feelings that burn within you here and now, no matter what they are. Secret entrance of Scar Market, Kazdal. No need to be down, Ascalon. More will join us when Babel grows strong enough to provide shelter for more people. We're being followed. Your Highness! Wait, Ascalon, she's not hostile. Whoa, that was a hard hit. Is that a sleeve blade? Anyway, Your Highness, I would like to leave with you if that's okay with you. Thank you. What's your name? Julie. A nice name. One that's not often used by mercenaries. Did you make it up yourself? No, I don't have a name. Someone else gave it to me. She said having a name gives one a sense of belonging. She's right. Why not follow the rest of them to Londinium? I've had enough of fighting. She says Your Highness will bring about a life where we don't have to fight anymore. That's why I came to check it out for her. I wanted to challenge you before deciding whether to go with you, but I didn't even have the guts to raise my sword when you stood before me. You're a strong warrior, that's for sure. I wouldn't say that about myself when I'm standing in front of you. At least I could be sure she wasn't playing me for a fool when she said you were once a great hero of Kazdal. A reason so simple it's hard to believe. The red-haired mercenary scratches her head. Well, I guess I like the way you talked just now. Not sure I understood most of it, though. Where's your friend? She can come, too. She's already here. Her sword and her clothes may be a little loose-fitting, though. She was a strong warrior. Felt a little like this one over here. I'm a little something of a tailor. I could hem it for you. There's no need. I'm used to it. Let's go then, Julie. One moment, please, Your Highness. There are other mercenaries here who want to go with you. Teresa looks towards the dark exit of the Scar Market and sees a swaying speck of flame. One speck becomes two, two become three, and many more emerge from the darkness. The first torch-carrying mercenary steps into the sunlight and sees the white figure standing on top of the hill. He points forward and walks toward Teresa without looking back. More and more follow him, the line seemingly without end. Just because we're used to battle doesn't mean we're willing to bury ourselves in the campaign with no end in sight. If there's another way to live, many of us are willing to take it. I heard some people are secretly recruiting the willing in Kazdal. There may be some there ready to join us, although the journey through the wilderness would be a tough one. I'll make arrangements. Let's go, Julie. We have a lot to do. There are plenty of people for us to house, after all. Wow. Even after the ones that kneeled, that weren't willing to follow her, they abandoned her. There was still a group that said we're done fighting, and they planned to lay down their arms, so to speak, in order to follow Teresa. It just goes to show you what kind of person she was. You're back. They've retreated. Outstanding work, Doctor. Ooh. A group of medics hurry through the corridor, carrying several stretchers. Calcit turns to block them from the doctor's sight. The enemy was essentially making suicide attacks. It was inevitable that there would be casualties as we broke through. We lost fewer than we had any right to expect. How many did we lose? There was nothing wrong with how you commanded the operation. You don't need to be involved in the cleanup. Medic! Dr. Calcit, we're running low on plasma. I'll deal with coordination and surgery. Cal. The medics have already gone. The doctor is not sure whether the terrifying scene just now was a figment of the imagination, but the smell of blood simply would not go away. A sense of dizziness. Excuse me. I'm able to reconstruct a battlefield as a computable data model. But it's not numbers that fight a war. Living, breathing people are fighting for their survival. How long has it been since Doctor. First time seeing the blood and gore? You could say that. We didn't have so many lives to waste in the wars I fought in the past. Treat yourself to a sweet drink. It'll make you feel better. I speak from experience. It's all thanks to your command that we were able to triumph against overwhelming odds. Are your battles always like this? No, this is one of the easy ones. I'll gladly entrust my life to you if it means our future battles will be so easy. Is war really the only way? You're not the first to ask that question. But this attack is only a sign of things to come. No one knows what the future holds. I have great expectations of you, our tactical genius. The history books would record that the two Sarkaz rulers declared war on each other in the winter of 1091, causing open hostilities to break out between the military commission and Babel. For the Sarkaz themselves, however, the civil war had begun in 1086 when isolated conflicts started to escalate rapidly. The 2 centuries of peace that Kazdal had enjoyed have come to an end. Fires of Uprising. Which one is this? Oh, okay.
People, I don't think I'll even remember your faces after this one. Anyway, let's just get started. Apple pie!
Don't make this harder than it needs to be.
Crosswords.
I'll put her there to gain some DP.
Awaiting orders. You can't stop me.
Your lives are mine to
A
protect.
valiant struggle, but you won't get away.
Oh yeah. Let's get Shu out here.
War. A word I've not heard in a long, long time.
He does a really good job against them, which is really cool.
Best. I'll plant you into the soil to grow anew.
Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Shut up.
Okay. I'm making pretty clean work of this one so far.
Ready to move. A valiant struggle, but you won't get away.
31, 32, 33, 34. There's 35. Okay. I really didn't need all this back here. I did good with this front line wall.
Awaiting orders. Shut up.
Nice. That one was actually fairly easy. Easier than I remember. Meh. Hey, I ain't gonna complain. I like an easy stage, especially when I'm still under the weather. Winter 1092. Border Battlefield Kasdo. Those rampaging sister beasts! Are they migrating? The Vanguard never stood a chance! All those who didn't get out of the way in time were... and those soldiers moving in perfect coordination without exchanging a word. None of that was in the intel. That's not what we need to worry about. I'm the ranking officer now. All survivors form up and retreat immediately. These supplies are crucial. It will be a hard winter without them. Yes, ma'am, but how did things go so wrong even though we made our move early? Did our informant... The intel was good. We were delayed by mercenaries transporting the supplies. They've upped the price on the spot. I've dealt with them. This is why I hate mercenaries. Another coincidence. It's not a coincidence if it keeps happening over and over again. We've had way too many setbacks lately. Focus. Babel forces must be... Wait, hell... A flash of white and a hole appears in the soldier's forehead. They cannot even tell where the attack is coming from. In the noise of the sister beast stampede. Leave the supplies behind and you may leave unmolested. You have been warned. I understand the context of that word, but that still comes off very, very wrong. In the sense of the way my mind works. Just saying. Without warning, Ursula hears a cold, coarse voice in her head. He's dead! Shit, we need to withdraw! Did you hear that voice? Just a bluff. Keep your head low and stay with me. Don't get separated. Stick together if you want to live. We need to get these supplies back. As for the Vanguard, we're in no position to think about them. They're retreating. I suppose nabbing the supplies isn't so easy after all. Be patient and follow the doctor's instructions. The chairman has said that the priority is to minimize casualties. That's probably Teresa's voice. I know. Mantra. Mantra. Oh, her. Okay, yeah. Mantra's lips are closed, but Scout can hear her voice clearly in his head. What's his face? Kind of has a... He works with her. Elysium, is it? Or
somebody like that is like part of her squad or whatever. And they kind of have banter or whatnot from what I read. I may be wrong about who that is. I'm pretty sure it's Elysium. Anyways, Mantra's lips are closed, but Scout can hear her voice clearly in his head. She's the perfect coordinator for Babel's covert operations and a shadow that eats away at the enemy's sanity. The enemy vanguard has been scattered by the herd. The survivors have fled into the woods. The enemy's actions were spontaneous, unplanned. They must know that we've decrypted their communications, but the envelopment succeeded nonetheless. We can leave the rest to Ascalon. Ascalon will not fail. Neither will we. Ha! You're absolutely right. You should get some rest, Mantra. Talking takes a toll on you. So no need to worry about the follow-up. We have Doctor. Nice. Who directed this operation? The evil spirit again? Just what is this, Commander? Which royal court does it come from? If it could do this to us, it could do it to you too. Why would you sell your soul to something like that? I'm getting out of here alive. The mercenary hears breathing in the darkness not far away and swings his sword without hesitation. Got you! Oda! You're wounded too. You think you could kill me and walk alive? Get out of my way or I'll kill you. It's the last thing I do. You're not taking Marcel's things. He's going home. Home? Our home is Kazdal. You traitors to Kazdal. The mercenary keeps swinging his sword at Oda, who only passively blocks with his hammer. The mercenary's movements slow down, and his breathing grows weak. Babel. Morons. Wasn't it the military commission who betrayed Kazdal? Relax. He's dead. Be more decisive next time, Oda, and there'll be fewer injuries. The entire squad is dead. They should have died an honorable death, not tormented by fear. This is not the right time to show mercy. Bring Marcel. Our mission is finished. You remember his name? I remember everyone in Babel. The living and the dead. The ones who had names and the ones who didn't. I could have saved him. It's just hard to raise your weapon against your own kin. Even if it's to avenge Marcel. Your father died in the chaos of the city. Have you ever thought about seeking vengeance for him? Oda takes a deep breath. I hate the people who killed him. But vengeance doesn't change anything. A classical idea. Rational, righteous, human. What if your vendetta is with a cold-blooded deathmonger, with hands soaked in blood? Would you say you kill for justice and your ideals without a hint of hatred? I'm not sure. Do you regret killing mercenaries who threatened Babel, Ascalon? No. Then I won't either. Even if it means I have to... I'm sorry. I'm saying silly things again. Don't mind me. I'm not important at all. No. All Babelites are important to Her Highness. Time to go back. Rhodes Island of Babel. Kazdal. What are you here for? I've already said it many times, it was my own decision to betray Her Highness. It had nothing to do with the military commission, and I'm not an informer for them. You want to execute me, make it quick. I'm not here to torture you. I brought some wine. I don't need it. Are you sure? This is Victorian fruit wine, not some lousy swill. What are you here for? To catch up about old times. We have nothing to talk about. I know Scout's hiding something from me. Ascalon too, because she knows we know each other. But I can make a pretty good guess why you wanted to kill the doctor. Be my guest. You're not a sore loser. You're unhappy because the doctor is an outsider. Everyone wants Babel and the military commission to get along. You believe that Dr. Calcit and the doctor have widened the rift, rather than mended it. Good guess. Now get out. I'm an outsider too, and I'm still fighting for the Sarkaz to this day. You... The wine. You're drinking out of your hat? Do you see a wine glass in this cell? You should have brought one. Good. What happened to the rest of your team? Let's see. The one with the spear, the caster, the one with the shield who's sitting here right now,
a medic, and a sniper. Skull Spear, White Smoke, Grey Sun, Strauss, Walnut, Kong, Herb. So the sniper's name was Herb. He's dead. Let bygones be bygones. All good fighters. If I ever get to mentor the young, I'll raise them to be that kind of fighter. Selfless, honest, cautious about picking a side, but committed once they've made their choice. Pah! How sentimental. Do the Sarkaz hate outsiders in Babel that much? Fools like you would give your lives for Her Highness wouldn't understand. Babel might be changing certain things, but it's meaningless. It's not fast enough, and its reach is not far enough. Her Highness did not have to have her hands tied. She didn't need to waste her time. The doctor helped the chairman, Teresa, a lot. In what capacity? A researcher? A military commander? Both. Even though the doctor killed so many Sarkaz, the more people like that, the longer the war will drag on. Her Highness's achievements are grand. She solved problems all her life, taking care of the needs of generations. Now she leads the fight against Oripethy. But what's happening now? We're fighting the military commission. Fighting our own, that's not part of our vision. No, I almost forgot. You're a mercenary, but not a Sarkaz mercenary. True enough. I only came to Babel because I was with the others. I got involved in this because most of my people were Sarkaz. Oh, White Smoke is dead too. Why bring her up now? I thought maybe there was something going on between you two. Doesn't matter, she's dead. She died in the presence of Chairman Teresa. Damn, now I'm starting to envy her. What happened? Ambush. Only the two of us survived. She lost her legs to an arch trap. I had to drag her through the mud. That's when we ran into Chairman Teresa. Well, we ran into the doctor first. Ha! The evil spirit showed up on the battlefield personally. Believe it or not, I thought I was looking at a Lateran priest when I first saw the doctor in the distance. Huh? The doctor was praying with that black hood bowed low, next to the glowing chairman. Wasn't even kneeling or doing any sort of ritual, just gazing silently into the distance with Chairman Teresa. That evil spirit you're talking about, Doctor, is not some heartless monster. The doctor is torn, wandering in solitude, and still, in the end, chose to bring victory to Babel. So you came to preach? You're trying to guilt-trip me. Get out and take your bloody wine. Did you think I would... No, you're not that naive. Has a decision been made? Yes. Death sentence? The doctor and Chairman Teresa have reservations. The Calcit and most of the other fighters who participated in the operation won't have it any other way. What about you? Your betrayal cost us dozens of lives, brother. This time I'm with Dr. Calcit. More wine. You just spilled the last of it. Are you going to be doing it? Yes. No need to burden Scout. He's tough on the outside but tender inside. And I don't want to hand you over to anyone else. I came to tell you, brother, that even though you did something stupid, Babel will remember your name. We'll keep fighting, keeping your warning and reproach in our hearts. Train some promising young ones while you still can. Decent ones like you don't live long. Guess so. See you again when the Sarkaz can finally live in peace. The traitors and the spies have been executed. Royal Court spies. They really have a lot of problems in their tribe. Good work. What about the unit that entered the war zone? Scouts report that they blocked key passages leading out of the mountains after attacking Babel positions. The general did not order this. Was it someone from a royal court or a Syracusan pilot? Unlikely. Reports indicate no particular bloodline characteristics to the witchcraft, and little effort was made to cipher communications. It's a rabble. May I speak frankly, sir? The unit may be rogue. They just happen to cram Babel in with the catastrophe. Excuse me. Isn't that a good thing for us? What about the other commanders and mercenary captains? Watching the show, of course, waiting to see if the enemy chooses to surrender or die at the hands of the catastrophe and the ruffians. I wouldn't overthink it if I were you, sir. You've shown as much mercy as you possibly could by ordering that we pull out of the valley and leave an opening for them. Who knows, maybe some of my family are in that catastrophe. I've gotten over it. You don't care. I try not to. Darn. Rhodes Island of Babel, Castle. Sorry I'm late. So? No need to start from the beginning. Ace was called on short notice. Just follow Mantra's instructions. Go ahead, we don't have much time. Emergency? I'll keep going then. We have 2,500 souls in the catastrophe radius, mostly medics, infected civilians, prisoners, and injured mercenaries. The scale of the catastrophe is larger than the catastrophe messengers predicted. It's currently expected to affect 5 outposts, 3 key passages, and a field hospital repurposed from an abandoned town. They'd almost made it out of the catastrophe radius when their path was cut off by mercenaries. Trapping medics, wounded, and civilians to die in a catastrophe? Is Manfred willing to go to such lengths these days? It's not his style. The 3 military commission units have retreated from the forest, even leaving a humanitarian corridor open in one of the canyons. The military commission has casters on the cliff, ready to annihilate any armed unit that attempts to pass through. But they're not trying to hide what they're doing, and they're not doing anything we didn't expect. These mercenaries are different. They came out of nowhere, attacked our positions, destroyed important roads and bridges, and polluted several water sources in the mountains with originium explosives. There seems to be no reason other with their actions. Who's their employer? We're still looking into it, but based on what little intelligence we have, it's very likely that they're rogue. Revenge, a last gasp struggle after being abandoned by Theresis, instigation by another country. Anything's possible. Doesn't matter. I'll find out who their leader is and kill them. Without a leader, a band of aimless mercenaries is just a useless rabble. You go save those people. We'll regroup back at base. I'll leave them to you then. One last message. Her Highness says this operation is not part of the campaign. We should be relieved. In a war that has become increasingly gridlocked, the opposing sides have a chance to work together for a common goal. Saving lives from catastrophe. That's very true. Indeed they were. Texas, indeed they were. BB-6. Let's go ahead. Look up! Ahead! Look, up ahead! The bridge, it's been blown! How are we supposed to get across? Is there another path? The catastrophe cloud is still over our heads. We can't go any further, not with all the wounded and children. Damn, the originium crystals on the ground are starting to glow. They'll kill us before the catastrophe even has a chance. We need to... We need to go. It's all shit. Originium particles in the air. Fucking originium particles. That's probably what that meant to be. No medicine for more than a week now. All the injured, infected. Damn it. What's that sound? No reinforcements from Babel yet. They keep looking for a path. Don't come back until you do. The catastrophe cloud's fully formed. Which fucking unit attacked the hospital? Not even Scar Eye's that crazy. Stick together, it's too late to try to get out of the catastrophe. We need to find some clean caves. Nothing with the originium traces on it. Not even a little bit. Doing this to the wounded. Theresis, you piece of... Mom, my leg hurts. Don't cry, don't cry. We're almost home. No, it hurts, it hurts. The sound of children crying, the sound of conspiracy, of death, of struggling to survive. The catastrophe is death to all that, turning wind, excuse me, wind and snow into storm. A few figures stand on a distant cliff. A woman stands on the edge, peering silently into the distance. A merciless catastrophe, enemy soldiers blocking key passages, fleeing beasts, and the wounded and civilians with nowhere to run. Life echoes in the valley, reaching Mantra's ears. It is the sound of children crying. I hear it. Children are crying. It's starting to snow. This isn't good. 2,313. All confirmed. Location and physical data logged. Fewer losses than expected, but time's of the essence. Watching your arts up close is a remarkable experience, Mantra. Was the Jarl and HR able to get you a few assistants? A shame. Message sent to all squads. Cave, 7 kilometers to the northeast. The children are there. But the military commission's drones have found us. I'll stay. You go. They don't want to face my squad head-on in this terrain. Just going to say hi. We'll try to take Manfred alive if he's leading them. Don't take unnecessary risks. Doctor here. Sorry I'm late. Operations in the CA area have concluded. Continue to carry out Mantra's plan. I'll provide support elsewhere. Priority is to help the civilians and the wounded. Good timing, Doctor. Thanks. Misery is distracting the military commission, but he needs help. Is this part where I volunteer? Yes, Ace. Awaiting your orders. And Teresa will go directly to the affected field hospital at the center to prevent further casualties. If all goes well, I'll meet you there. Explosion! Explosion! Move away from the glowing area! Back off! The Originium underground is being activated! Fuck! Too late! Fires stir beneath the frozen earth, and the blizzard brings with it sparks of catastrophe. Every breath seems to carry the weight of all of Terra, bringing it upon every individual soul. Excuse me. The weight vanishes in an instant. They look up to see an astonishing sight. Gah! The explosion stopped? Snow floating in the air. Snow crystals are here almost indistinguishable from Originium crystals. Control over them can be achieved with sufficient focus. Your precise control over individual snowflakes is difficult, but it's not so difficult to hold a snowstorm off in an Originium-rich environment. Have you been paying attention in Class 8 and... Pith, you're here, I can give you 10 minutes. Go back to the meadows at the bottom of the valley and head south. Scout will guide your path. Don't you remember what I taught you? There are a lot of emergency precautions you can take in an Originium-dense environment, but you did nothing. Wait. You have acute oropathy patients in your group. What were you thinking? Take the syringe. I'll do what I can. You have 10 minutes to get everybody in order. But you... Move it before the catastrophe fully forms. This area will be safe while I can dampen it for a bit. One more thing. I'm using several kinds of arts at the same time right now. I want to see an essay from all of you on my table by this weekend, explaining which schools these arts belong to. Wow. So you better damn well make it out alive. Wow. You're fighting a war, you're in the middle of a catastrophe, and let's give somebody homework while they're panicking, freaking the hell out. That's not gonna happen. I'd be like, nope, I'm not turning in that essay. Sorry. It's me. Any instructions from Manfred. What is he doing? Huh? A royal court high ranking amongst the Babel forces and refugees? Impossible. Look it up. Doubt there's anything to look up. Manfred probably made up the excuse on the spot. Even if they were there, they're Babel prisoners now. Rescuing prisoners in the middle of a catastrophe is not part of the contract. But we have to do it anyway. Damn it, get Thorn Squad to check the blockade. All right, 86 here. Hello? Hello? No response. Where did they go? It's not time for the shift change yet, is it? Wait. Isn't it a little too quiet? There were foul beast cries only a moment ago. All the animals must have fled the catastrophe. I'll sweep through this place in 5 hours. It'll sweep through this place in 5 hours. This is no time to be taking a nap. Hand me the schedule. I said hand me the... Huh? Hey, where did you go? Hello? This is Squad 86. Anyone hear me? Anybody? What's going on? Somebody's... You called? Phew. 3 squads silenced. No alerts. The path is clear. Combat personnel, follow these coordinates. Medics, take the injured and follow the markings I left. There's something I need to confirm. It's the military commission's frequency, all right. But these were scouts, not the rogue mercenaries that attacked our positions. Mission briefing Strawberry. Just monitoring the retreat of the civilians. Ha! Manfred even lied to them that there was a royal court high rank here. Well, I guess I'll leave the rest to Ascalon. Babel. Are you my death? You led the attack on Babel positions. Whose orders are you following? It's just doctors and infected civilians. The sword comes before she can finish her sentence. Something feels out of place, but Ascalon adjusts quickly. She has always been more familiar with the language of violence anyways. The sleeve blade is out of its sheath. What are you? Suicide bomber. Bomb. You're crazy. Surrender. You have no chance. It's me. I'm done. Sorry. Couldn't take him alive. He blew himself up. Something's not right. He recognized me as Babel immediately, realized he was no match for me, and quickly chose to blow himself up. I'm normally decisive. Could be some experienced spy or... Wait. Excuse me. I found a pouch. It's undamaged. I must have cut it off. There's a Babel sleeve badge and a military commission medal inside. It's not unusual for a mercenary working both sides of a war. And a piece of paper. Possibly personal notes. Most of it's illegible. The only thing I can make out is... Del... Home. Forget it. Not important. Something about Kasdal. Communications are out. Well, I guess the old stuff won't do it when a catastrophe is so close. Let's hope the other team's found a way out. Don't just stand there. Bring all the infected who can't move over here. What's the point? It's not like they'll be able to get away from the catastrophe. Just do it. It's not like you have anything to lose, is there? And some of them are comatose. My condition isn't that far off from theirs. I'll end their suffering. Originium particles will spread when they die. I'll take the brunt of it. Take your bow, keep your distance, and finish the job. Hell no. Hey, stay away from the infected. Julie will deal with them. Infected. You're just leaving them here like firewood. I'm not doing it because I want to. Is there any hope for them? No, just death. They'll turn to dust in 10 minutes or so. I could have been saved. Does living a little longer count as being saved? Their conditions are too severe. If they don't die here, they'll die in some forgotten alleyway in Kasdal. I should have stayed in Sargon. Here, give them these suppressants. It'll at least relieve their pain. Where did you get these suppressants? No. Who are you, anyways? When did you get here? Don't move! Your ID code now, or I'll... Let the doctor pass. It's fine. Everything will be fine. You look familiar. Your Highness! How could you... We're right in the middle of the catastrophe. We're very grateful, but... You shouldn't have come. It's too dangerous. The White Sarkaz appears on the battlefield without a sound, as though she has come out of nowhere. The crowd whispers amongst themselves. Is she truly the King of Babel? One of the living six heroes, the mother of Kasdal? Teresa simply nods at confused and bewildered crowd. She kneels by the side of the infected. Your Highness, I'm sorry I came late. Too late to save your lives. I'm sorry I couldn't do enough. Please don't. Teresa gently holds his hand in hers. The other infected, all the ones still conscious, those who have not fully given up on living, feel a little bit of gentle warmth. I'm listening, my children. I will remember how all of you lived and died. Forgive me that I could not promise you more, but for your family, children, friends, and comrades, there will come a day when they will no longer live in fear. Your lives should have been so much more. Now, though, dream a warm dream, a dream that will come true. Sleep, children of Kasdal. Sleep in the warm embrace of home. Sleep. Thank you. The infected begin to glow with the colors of Originium. Tiny stones eat away at flesh and blood, transforming their lives and desires into fleeting sparks. Teresa holds their hands to the end. until shining dust rises towards the sky and scatters by the wind, never to become stars upon the heavens. So you can call me anything you like. Even evil spirit, if that's what you prefer. I don't mean that. It's just, this is the first time we've spoken to each other alone. You've brought us many victories, and I've had a hand in some. They also say you're an expert in originium. Expert. Yet it's the first time I've seen the infected die like this with my own two eyes. You're lucky. I never thought it would be so. Does living a little longer count as being saved? Never mind. It's time to go, Teresa. Right. But it's too late. Even if we leave now and the military commission has set a trap for us. It'll be fine. Let's go home. The military commission's after-action report writes, the king of Babel and her most trusted men led her people out of the valley. With a single touch, she parted wind, snow, and flames, gentle as a mother parts the bed curtains to put her child to sleep. Our casters and crossbowmen observed the procession, but none dared take the first shot nor give the order to. The flowery report and Manfred's false intelligence earned an admonition from the commission, but no further discipline. Damn it. Doctor, I heard about the operation. Doctor? There's something I want to ask, Calcit. Go ahead. As a physician, is it saving a life when all you can do is stave off death for a little while? Unless it goes contrary to the patient's wishes, the duty of a physician is to save lives. And that's what we've always worked to do. Why do you ask? Looking at Amiya and the people around us makes me feel that you shouldn't have to deal with this kind of suffering. And Doctor, Calcit, there you are. The intelligence meeting just ended. The unexpected catastrophe has led to a stalemate and some breathing room for us. The two of you need to get some rest. Especially you, Doctor. You've hardly slept since you've been back, right? I'm fine. Teresa glances at Calcit, who seems to sigh wordlessly with her eyes. The King of Sarkaz senses guilt and restlessness. It's not an easy thing to accept, watching so many infected turn to dust before one's eyes. Doctor, do you think all of this is your fault? It is. I won't run from my responsibility, and I won't wallow in self-pity. I just need time to accept the present. I don't know if originium is supposed to hurt a newborn civilization like this, but originium is the only way to protect all life in existence. You're tired, Doctor. I'm grateful that you have chosen to bear the burden of these emotions for the sake of this great land. Your pain and struggle shows your kindness and ideals. I won't try to wipe them away, but we could share this burden if you are willing. Teresa wants to hold the doctor's hand, perceive the doctor's guilt and anxiety-filled soul. She wants to help the doctor. But a tiny speck of noise echoes ominously in the king's mind. The doctor is rejecting me? Or is it... Sorry, Teresa, but this is not something you need to take on. No need to use Civilate Eterna on me. It takes a toll on you too. There are more important uses for it. More important than helping someone who's giving everything for us. Thank you. I mean it. You and Scout said we have some breathing room, right? I'll make dinner for us then. I learned it off Misery. For future challenges. Flickering light, BB-6.
Let's go.
Let me create a diversion.
Anything outside the plan, I'll judge for myself.
Whoops. That was a bad move. Yep, there goes Exu.
Please,
Thought so.
trust in me.
There we go.
Let's put an end to this show. Pronto.
I'm prepared to be a knight of the firelight. Breeze, kindly rain. Now we sow the grain.
Yeah, these are destructible, which is nice. I could put Pookie there, and she can destroy that one for me. Yeah, we'll let her handle
I
that.
wasn't supposed to act. Flesh and bone bear weeds. Mounds and ruins bloom fields.
All the best.
Ready to move. A valiant struggle. But you won't get away.
You can go do something else.
Alright, we won't need
What's
her
your
now.
plan?
Alright.
Professor?
You want my opinion? Use your weapon.
You're toast, buddy.
Let me create a diversion.
Where do you wish to draw lines? Now ignited.
Let's put an end to this show. Pronto.
I'll plant you into the soil to grow anew.
Cool. We got a solid ground here, even though after we lost
Still
Exu
mulling
there.
things over, Dr. Perfectionist? Still mulling things over, conviction will throw you off pace.
Watch out for fires.
Yeah, let's go. A fairly easy one. A piece of originium crystal lies quietly on the test table, glowing orange-yellow under the light. It looks pure, beautiful, harmless. Priestess, what have we done? I'm afraid not. It's impossible. Doctor, it hurts. Thank you. The doctor picks up the originium crystal with one hand and stabs it into the other arm. It leaves a bloody gash on the arm, but nothing else. The pain grows distinct, yet it is not the pain of originium infection. The instruments show the same. There is no sign of assimilation of originium in cell. Originium won't infect me. Did we ever imagine that such a pain would come? What would you say about what's happening to this world? Originium. The last spark that we had passed on. It's working. It's several times more effective than existing suppressants. Amiya's originium blood crystal concentration has dropped significantly, but it's just a prototype. I haven't found a way to mass produce it on Terra yet. Doctor, I know you're experimenting on yourself, but you really don't look well. Just some research on blood. Originium doesn't infect me. We've had safety measures in place since it was just an energy project. Maybe this could be used to mitigate the symptoms of oropathy. And Teresa, she's not like you. Civilate Eterna is not some kind of powerful magic. She has simply created originium arts in its most fundamental form, through the accumulation of a long legacy. With her help, we may be able to develop more advanced oropathy medicine that can be mass-produced. I'm more concerned about you right now, Doctor. I'm fine. If originium has transformed you into the beings identical to us, then there will be a way to create a serum in place of my own. No matter how complicated the present issues are, if Babel can develop an effective oropathy medicine, It will be more than just the Sarkaz that will support us. It will be all of Terra. Then we can foster a future with Originium, one that is peaceful, happy, and eternal. No, listen to me. Calcit grabs the doctor's arm. It is a lot thinner than she remembers. You've not relaxed for an instant. From Rimbiliton to the Sarkaz Civil War. I chose to wake you up in order to point the way for this civilization, one that surprised me at every turn. I don't want you to waste away now. You need to take care of yourself. Sorry. Right now, though, what I want to do most is alleviate Amiya's pain. Three months later. Rhodes Island of Babel, Kasdal. I see you, Amiya. You can come out. Doctor, am I interrupting anything? No, just curious how you got in when I didn't hear the door open. I found a lot of secret passages. Secret passages? Yeah, Closure said not to tell anyone, so I haven't. No wonder Dr. Calcit can't find you for checkups. You've been hiding there all along. I promise I won't run away if you go with me. All right, I'll try to make the time. You've been really busy. Dr. Calcit even said she has hardly seen you lately. Whenever I see you, you're all by yourself, carrying a stack of papers, head down, walking from one end of the corridor to another. If someone says hi to you, all you do is nod, then you keep on walking without a word. Sounds like you're describing a really rude person. Sorry, Amiya. No, that's not what I meant. You just seem really unhappy. Why would you say that? Before we came to Rhodes Island, you were curious about everything. Cuddled up with the burden beast at night, crouched down to look at tiny rocks in the mines, and went to pick fruit from the beck beast dens. You enjoyed everything, even the things that didn't interest me as a kid. But now, whenever I talk to you about something fun, all you say is, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Amiya. But I came to talk to you about it to make you feel happy. Are you unhappy because I'm not getting better? It's not because of you, Amiya. This is about me. And you can hear noises from outside the ship, can't you? Yes, like huge drills in Rimbiliton. They're so noisy. I don't like them. Me, Teresa, Dr. Calcit. We all have a lot of things to do. It's not your fault. All right. Do you have time today, Amiya? Yes. I want to go up to the deck and see the clouds. It's going to rain. They have very interesting shapes, and I could talk for a long time if there was someone there to listen to me. Of course, but don't you have work to do? It's okay. I'll be done soon. Amiya, if there comes a day when we cure Oripathy, not just for you, but for all of Terra as well, when the day comes the Terrans no longer live in fear of Originium and catastrophe, let's go on a journey again to see the rest of this great land. This time, we'll bring Calcit, and Originium will become the light that guides the next civilization. All consciousness shall foster new hope in Originium until the end of time. Doctor! It's okay. The doctor just passed out on the deck due to exhaustion. Thank goodness, it's not something serious. What about the wound on Doctor's arm? Trying to contract Oripathy. The doctor tried many ways, breathing in dust, exposure to Originium dense environments, even a direct incision with active Originium. I tried to get the doctor to stop. I asked Scout to do the same, but no one wants to see the doctor get hurt. Maybe the doctor's in more pain than we see on the surface. What about Amiya? Terribly frightened. She wouldn't stop crying. It took a lot of effort to get her to sleep. This is a sculpture. A gift from a rescued infected to the doctor. Ace was the first to hear Amiya's cry. He carried the doctor back and left this behind. See? See, Doctor? You've established connections with so many people. You're not alone. But what are you hiding that you wouldn't even tell Calcit or me? The doctor truly wants to help Amiya and Babel. I can feel that. But I also can't help but feel the doctor leaves some thoughts unsaid. Some concerns, some doubts. I believed these sentiments were the results of such an abrupt awakening, and that they would go away in time. But they haven't. The doctor is being torn apart by these unsaid things, tormented by hesitation, pain, and guilt. Perhaps I don't understand the doctor as well as I thought. I don't know how to ease the doctor's pain, and if neither of us know what the doctor is thinking, then the Doctor of Babel will always be alone, all the love and respect notwithstanding. Calcit. Yes, I will explain to the doctor in time. Teresa puts her hand on the doctor's forehead. Under the warm surface lies a past that she cannot fathom. Civilate Eterna. Originium must rewrite all. Only then is there value in existence. From the emergence of intelligent life to the lights in the cosmos and the maelstrom of the stars, Originium will continue to replicate and transform until even time ceases to exist. This is Originium. Originium, the first light before the Big Bang. She said that only by covering every inch of the land in Originium, only by returning matter and time, tide and wonder, light and wailing to the vast ocean of information, only then will we find change and advancement and avert the fate that is the end. Even though it is not a transformation, but a death. It is not an extinction, but a continuation. When was this memory? The doctor's emotion, pain, hesitation, and fear. Who was that accompanying the doctor in despair? No, Calcit said there was another. The growth of Originium is silent, beautiful, calm. All signs of life have been overgrown. Civilization has vanished from this land. But Teresa feels only fear and suffocation. The memory's trembling, collapsing. There is a force somewhere trying to fix an error. The Originium in the memory continues to grow, even assimilating Teresa's consciousness. Teresa. Calcit. Oh yes, she was by my side. Teresa! She seems to see the doctor before her consciousness is fully absorbed by the nebulous Originium light. Teresa! What happened, Teresa? What did you see? I saw Originium. It had assimilated the entire continent. The doctor felt pain and anxiety over it. Oh, was that the doctor's memory? No, a dream? Give me a hand, Calcit. Feeling the noise and the wailing, Teresa, I told you that Originium once decided the distant future of this land. There were two choices. We were too focused on tangible suffering, catastrophe, or apathy. Casting our eyes toward that future brought too much difficulty and too little meaning. The doctor chose one of them, the future that the doctor spoke of to me personally. I could not forget that future that doctor described. Never in all these years. But the other cold and empty thought has often shot up my spine in the middle of the night over the past 10,000 years. I cannot speak of it. But you can sense my anger with your power. That means that Civilate Eterna exists outside of the boundaries of language. So, Teresa, if you saw a future that you are not willing to accept, I hope you, Civilate Eterna, can change the course. Only you can. If you saw the side of myself or the doctor that is strange to you. Calcit? No, Calcit, that's not what I meant. The doctor's feelings towards Amiya, towards us, toward you are sincere. That is the truth. Trust the doctor and trust me. I will find the answer to what is tormenting the doctor, and then... Doctor? Doctor, you're awake! What happened to me? You fainted as you were leaving the deck with Amiya. Where's Amiya? A little shaken, but she's fine. You're still in bad shape. What were you thinking? I want to cure Amiya's oropathy. I want to change the present state of the Sarkaz. I want to walk among the civilization that I helped create, to take in the vitality of new life, something that we once had but have long since lost. Even if everything that we see, all that we know, all that we cherish, no longer exists after a millennium.
We may have achieved a perfect victory, but we still can't let our guard down.
That's crazy. Well, story. I believe we have one more story. 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. Another story in the epilogue. 7, 8, 9, 10. Another story epilogue. So I believe we have 6 more total parts to complete. So, what we're going to do is we're going to end that in the next episode. We will have one big mega episode finale to this. So I'm super excited for it. It's going to be a long one and very, very emotional. It's definitely very emotional already. So let's go ahead and collect our things, unpack a little bit, and then we'll wrap this one up for now.
Maybe you don't remember me, Doctor. I used to work for you a long time ago. Oda. That's my name.
There we go. All right, so let's just wrap this one up here. And just some quick, interesting thoughts on this particular episode and the stages that we just dealt with and things. And we saw the increase of the tension continuing with Babel and with Babel and with the military commission, and how things were starting to differ, and the spread, the gap between them and everything, and the war that began and the escalating things there. But then we get to see Doctor taking control, turning the tide of the war with his expertise and his ability to control the battlefield and command. But we start to see some very, very emotional turns where you start to see the things like what happened here when I picked back up here. Teresa, and how the Sarkaz, they still revere her as king. They still kneel to her. But they were following Theresa's lead and still planning on going to war. And the thing was, as she sorrowfully, not so much approved of them, but acknowledged them and, said she wasn't going to stand in their way, but, she wishes them well, kind of thing. She walked away with Ascalon, only to have, and that part got me really emotional for some reason, but I think the combination of the music, the way it was written, and the fact that they thought that everybody was just going to walk off to their deaths, only to find people come out of the cave, Julie being the first one, followed suddenly by others, dozens of them, wanting to follow Teresa and to join Babel and to leave what they deemed to be certain death, or what they thought was not the right path. They wanted to choose a side, and they chose to go with her. They chose to follow the king. And it was such a beautiful moment to see that, and to see them follow her, and just to see that surprise by her and by Ascalon, to see many that wanted to join her and wanted to change. But then we start to see things escalate between Babel and the military commission. We start to see combat breaking out more. We're seeing loss of lives. We're seeing people trade, become traders. We're seeing people working both sides that are mercenaries, that, they're doing what they can for the money. And you see again what Doctor's doing, and the fact that he's starting to instill fear in the hearts of many, because they're calling him the evil spirit and stuff like that with what he's doing. But then you come to learn the things, you're starting to see more, that he's the cause of Originium to begin with. He and Priestess spread the Originium. Their civilization from the past spread it with the hopes to stop the end. They thought that it would help to save the world. That by creating a death, a false death,
would recreate life in a way. Because of the fact they talk about originium being a source, and there was a hint towards something there about how originium contains things and assimilates things. It's like it's assimilating and creating a memory. It's like a bank of its own, a library of its own, where it's holding all this information and holding all these keys to life and things. It's incredible to see and to hear and to think about. But in the end, it's something that terrifies Doctor, and he starts to have his own slow descent there, a little bit of a descent into madness, not complete and total madness, but the obsession with finding this cure and saving people that are close to him and stopping this after seeing those bodies disappear into originium dust. He goes and starts thinking about Amiya, and he starts thinking about everything, and he questions Calcit, that question about, if you know the person's going to die, why would you, want to continue to treat them? Is that still your duty as a physician, to continue to treat someone that you know the inevitable is going to happen? And he understood what Calcit said, but that's what made him decide, I have to do this. I have to push further. And he started trying to inflict himself with oropathy so that he could study it and he could figure it out more, only to find that he was not able to be infected, that he's immune somehow. And of course, he does remember and think about the things with Priestess, and he does remember and think about where his civilization came from, that they started this. But he overdoes himself. And you could see that things are becoming more tense. Everything between Calcit and Teresa and Doctor and everybody there, that triangle of people, they're alone. There's a tense struggle because you've got Doctor so headstrong on trying to cure this while also commanding the battlefield, getting very little rest. Calcit handling the medical while also fighting, but also trying to convince Doctor, you need to rest, you need to take care of yourself, we need you. Teresa also doing the same, but Teresa trying to understand, why is Doctor suffering so much? What is causing him so much pain? And why is his mind on these things, and it's driving him to these conclusions? How can I help? How can I fix things? But here's my path as well that I'm on, and I can't stray from that. There's so many dynamics here. It's crazy, and we've still got a ways to go. But we're going to wrap that up in the next episode and see how this story plays out. And I know some of the things that are going to happen, and it's making me just thinking about it and talking about it is already getting me a little bit worked up, but I'm anxious. I'm anxious to go through it with you guys. So for now, that is it for this one. I appreciate you all for taking the time to watch this and hang out with me while we're live, I appreciate you all for taking the time to hang out with me and watch this. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you look forward to the conclusion in the next one. As always, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new to it. It's going to help me to grow and to bring more content like this to you guys. And with that being said, that's it for this one, and I will see you guys next time.